Good morning and welcome to Brewing Happiness. Grab a cup of your favorite brew, coffee, tea, some hot cocoa, and let's chat. This morning we're going to talk about meditation versus prayer. I've been involved in I've been thinking about both a lot lately, let's just say. Between readings and things happening in life, I'm a new meditator and a pretty inconsistent and not that great prayer, although I see people on Facebook and things looking for prayers, and I send prayers whenever I see them. But I wanted to be better at it. I wanted to learn more about it, and then I started talking about, well, meditating. I'm meditating, isn't that praying? And then that got me to asking the question: prayer, meditation. Do they have a difference? Does it matter? Do we need both? Do they each have a different purpose? That's our question for today. So if you're here on the replay, welcome. Leave me a little line. I'd love it if you'd say hello, or a little thumbs up, or a heart, or even an emoji would be sweet. Anyway, let me know that that you're here and what you're thinking of the show. Because today we're going to talk about, every day, I don't know, I think of some topic, something that, I'm going to play with my hair because I need a haircut and it doesn't look good anymore. Anyway, every day I think of a topic to talk about tomorrow. What am I going to think about? And usually it's something I've been pondering in my own life. It's usually something that's been on my mind, and I'm asking questions, and I'm either reading about it or researching it or asking friends and trying to gather enough information to have that conversation about it, right? And so today that question came to be just about prayer versus meditation. So this quick list that I came across is there's just 9 basic differences between prayer and meditation, right? We're going to go through it. Prayer is to speak. Meditation is to be spoken to, right? In a prayer, it is us actively seeking divine, seeking God, talking to God, right? That's what they talk about. Prayer is a conversation with God, but it's us talking to Him. And that's what prayers are. Well, meditation is considered more, you're listening, right? You're listening for silence. You're listening for that small, still voice inside of you, that guidance, that inner intuition, that connection to the divine collective that we talk about all the time. And so in prayer, you're sending out, and in meditation, you're coming in. And it says prayer is outward, meditation is inward. Prayer is, I'm reaching out beyond me. I'm reaching out beyond we are reaching out beyond ourselves, right? Meditation, we're going deep inward in ourselves. Now, some might argue that meditation, as I'm going inward, is to find God inside of me, but that's a whole big bag of worms. Right now, just this list is a little bit. We're going to stay in a little more of the simplistic conversation that says to pray is to send it out, to meditate is to bring it in, right? To prayer is to seek, and to meditate is to accept. Usually we pray when we're asking for something, right? We need help in some way. Usually my prayers are either for someone else from a health or a personal situation, or they're for myself to help me handle it, to help me offer grace, right? To help me find forgiveness, to help me get back to getting away from those low vibrational emotions, right? And that's prayer. You're asking for help to move the needle. And in meditation, you're just looking to accept, right? Meditation, we're usually not asking for something. We're looking to just center and accept. Prayer dependent on belief. Meditation independent of it. Prayer is generally associated with your religious beliefs, right? Christian prayers all the time. If you believe and if you pray, and I'm no Buddhist or Hindu, but I got to believe they've got some kind of an equivalent saying in there, right? Meditation is to accept, to simply be, to simply let go of anything that is not being accepted, right? That you are not being allowed to accept. Letting go, being still, searching for our center, searching for our stillness, where prayer is, like I said, steeped in our beliefs. For most of us, our religious upbringings, right? What religion were we born into? Or maybe you've been on a religion journey where you've experimented with different ones and ended in one place. But prayer is dependent on the belief system, meditation independent of that. My sense is this was written by a meditator. Just say it. When I went to articles about prayers and all about prayer, it was all very, very religious. And so as I tried to get outside of religion to talk about a more generic form of prayer, independent of your actual belief system, this led me to these discussions of the difference in prayer and meditation, and this conversation we're having right now. So prayer is okay. So here we go. Meditation is about sensation, and perception feels a little bit different. I'm going to read a little bit about sensation and perception feel differently, since meditation is concerned with the here and now, right? It draws one's sensation into feel in its body. When you are meditating, you're told to hear the sounds around you, allow anything that's going on, right? Just to be aware of both your 5 physical senses as well as your intuitive 6 internal sense. You're going to be aware of your thoughts. In one meditation I listened to, they say, see your thoughts as they float across the mind. That's one way of separating, disengaging from your thoughts. And it's primarily concerned with our sensory abilities. Now, this feelings and everything under the umbrella of sensation points to the evidence of what meditation actually is. Awareness, right? That's what meditation is. It's becoming aware, first of your senses, your surroundings, what's going on around your life, your thoughts, and then beyond your thoughts. What's going on behind your thoughts? What's going on in that quiet, still space of no thoughts? That's that's meditation. Taps in and listens to the communication signals the body's sending and brings those signals into the light. A prayer is searching for a sign, right? It's actively perceiving. It's looking for response. And sensation is awareness. Perception is, growing ever in tune with the divine conversation and the dealings of one's own spirit. They say prayer maybe is a little more easier for young people, where meditation is more difficult. It requires maturity. Prayer can be really simple. Jesus loves me, yes, I know, so the Bible tells me so, right? We can repeat simple prayers. Children can repeat simple prayers. Praying, if you have prayers you've said, they become, and you having intention behind them, even if you're repeating a pre-authored prayer, kind of like a meditation, right? You're saying it over and over again, like a mantra, right? If you're saying a prayer over and over again, I say the rosary quite a bit, the Hail Mary. What's secret? Little secret between you and me is I pray to the Blessed Virgin every day. And I say the rosary when I get in trouble. I maybe should say it more often, but I kind of only do it when I'm in trouble. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. All right, and you say that prayer, and it is like a mantra, because it does help me get to a still, quiet place. It does help me. It is simple. I don't have to think about it. I don't. Meditation feels like heavy, like it's not like it's work. I don't want to. That's the wrong thing to say, but there's layers of it. It's the onion. You're peeling back the onion. You're peeling back. You're peeling back. You're diving deeper. For me, in my visualization, in the visualization in my head, I look for a cave. I have a specific cave that sometimes when life is struggling, I am scaling the wall on the outside of, and sometimes when I'm lost, I'm looking for the cave within the inner cave tunnels. I'll just share my little personal meditation prayer. I don't know what now that I've mixed them together. I'll just tell you my own personal visualization, prayer, meditation, and we can call it what we want to. But like I said, I'm seeking this cave, and if I'm climbing on the outside, if I get lost, I look to my highest self, who's always standing above me in a tower up there somewhere. Good morning, Debbie. So somewhere my best self is always standing above me as I'm in this state of looking for my. And when I say cave, let's go back here. I'm looking for a cave, but that cave is actually the Sacred Heart, right? I'm actually looking for a cave that's Sacred Heart, and in my visualization, that's seen to me as I'm in a lovely, beautiful cave, and there's a fire in the center, and that fire is lotus-shaped leaves, right? And Jesus is there, and Mary is there, and whoever I invite to be there that day. I have a very select mastermind group that I consult with, and they're occasionally invited into the Sacred Heart. But the journey to get there, what some people might call the centering, right? To get to the place where I'm ready to meditate. That's kind of the centering of the process, right? That's kind of I can't do it till I feel that calmness and I get to that place and I'm calm. And before I'm there, I know when I'm there, right? The climbing ends when I know I've calmed myself, I've relaxed myself, I've let go of enough thoughts to get to this calm space. Anyway, the beginning of this was prayer versus meditation, and we were on the number that says prayer is easy for youth. Because meditation requires some maturity, and prayer can be simple because it can just be repeated. And again, meditation and prayer, the 9 ways they're different, are vary in duration. Might argue with that one, right? I can pray for as long as I want to, meditate for as long as I want to. I think here the perception is that prayer is finite. You say your prayers and you're done, where meditation goes on. Let's see what it says. Long meditation vary in duration and the intensity. Meditation is usually a longer practice with sustained focus, and prayer is briefer and requires only a more relaxed focus. Again, pretty sure this article was written by a meditator. Anyway, because I know people who pray for long periods of time, and for them, they might argue. I think they are one and the same, and that's what we're discussing this morning, Debbie, is the differences between prayer and meditation. And so far the conversation has been that prayer is kind of looking outward and meditation is kind of looking inward. Prayer is listen. Prayer is speaking, meditation is listening, kind of that give and take. And whether they are the same is exactly what we are chatting about today. Or do they feel the same? Prayer is relational. Meditation is individual. Now, I'm going to argue with the author of this. I put the points here to give us discussion points, but that doesn't necessarily mean I agree with all of them. I'm going to put up an argument here. Prayer is relational, meditation is individual, and the idea here is prayer is I'm seeking a relationship with God, right? And so it's about that relationship, where meditation is inward. I'm just here with myself in my own head, and so it is an individual activity. I'm going to come back to this in just a second. I might have an argument with that definition or that distinction between prayer and meditation, but maybe that depends on the way that you meditate. So I won't argue. I'll just offer my opinion. Well, this is the point we're going to get to, Debbie. This is the point we're going to get to, is God isn't outside ourselves. And I'm finished my list. I had a list of 9 ways prayer and meditation were different. The last one is meditation focuses on the present, while prayer can be future oriented. Generally, we ask for things in prayer, right? We ask for good health for someone. We ask for the resolution to a problem. For me, I ask sometimes for just, oh, please just give me some peace in here. Just let me forgive, let me forget, let this go, right? But it's on a future-oriented state where meditation is about the here and now. Okay, so that's the list, and I can appreciate it. Now, I got a couple other distinctions we're going to talk about real quick here. This one just says, or that prayer is generally considered to be part of religious practice, right? Some Christian practitioners loosely term meditation or actually forms of contemplation, rather than invoking the meditative mood or prolonged deeply reflective. They create an atmosphere where thought. Okay, so here's what I want to talk about in reality in relation. Now that we've set up the conversation, excuse me, now we're going to get to the meat of it, right? And the meat of it is this. So I'm going to back up for just a second. And the last 2 days, I've done a show on this book called Power versus Force. And if you didn't see it, I'm going to recommend you go back and watch it, because it was this book was so impactful to me, talking about well, I'm not going to redo the last 2 days, but it's talking about our level of awareness, our level of acceptance, our level of, are we vibrating at low human, I can't take care of me emotions, or are we vibrating in high and I want to make the world a better place? And that was the distinction. I'm summarizing a lot of discussion into some really simple terms, but the book was so impactful to me. And as I mentioned in my video yesterday, that when we went and had a calamity on Monday, locking the keys in the car and having a comedy of errors and getting told different things by different people between AAA and the dealership and the locksmith, and being told, oh my gosh, it was a crazy, crazy day, with the man getting very frustrated at me because I locked the keys in the car, and him trying all day not to be mad at me, and yet still very frustrated at all the turns of events. And I had just finished reading this book, Power versus Force. And for some reason, I was just really not caught up in the drama of the day. For some reason, I was extraordinarily happy in spite of the frustrations, and seemed to handle them really well. Let them go. Delighted when things turned out. I kept saying all day, worst places to be stranded than at the beach, right? And while it was as I called it, the trifecta of fuck-ups, because I not only locked the keys in the car, but I locked both keys in the, both sets of keys in the car and the wallets. Anyway, I was able to maintain this extraordinary calm and peace because of this book. And the message of Dr. Hawkins' book, in all the scientific hoo-ha that he talks about, the kinesiology and the ability of our bodies to know the truth, and our ability to test and get close to the truth, and that where we're vibrating and what levels that we're at, is an evolutionary discussion about history and attractor fields and all the craziness that goes on in the world, and how that chaos really organizes itself into systems that are attractor fields, positive and negative, that draw us to behavior that is love and compassion and expansive, or negative and draws us to internal self. Not that great. Okay, now I really am meandering. Anyway, the crux, the takeaway, the biggest thing I learned from this book, Power versus Force, was connection. Was the idea that we are all connected, and that the illusion of self, the illusions of our ego, and that what we do or say actually matters, and that our lives are our own, and that as your mind expands, or as you grow, let's say as you climb the map of consciousness, I'll talk in Dr. Hawkins' term, as he lays out this map of consciousness ranked from 1 to 1,000, and says where you are, what's happening with you when you're at these different levels. And But I realized that as you rise up the level, and as you rise the level of consciousness, these are the ways that the world is impacted. The more people you are impacting, the more, I don't know, maybe not the more, it's not a quantity issue. Anyway, the higher you're climbing on the map of consciousness, the more connected you are to God. That's the bottom line of what I'm saying. And by connected, I don't mean you have a personal, that you have a personal direct line to Him, which of course we do, but that you are God. The difference isn't that you're able to talk to Him, right? The difference is that there's one. We are all one, and that the connections, that the more we see that when someone harms us, we are part of the harm as well as part of the harmed, right? In the collective. And so as Richard was being, maybe his not best self, and I'm not blaming him for that. It was a difficult day that I caused for no reason, for thoughtlessness. I'm unconscious sometimes. I lose consciousness, as I say, and tucked my keys into my purse and then closed the lid and then went and never thought about it again until it was time to leave. But as it was happening around me, and since then, this has been my experience since this book, is that I'm like, this is me. That's him being unpleasant. That's me. That's us having a tough moment. Forgiving. This is hard. Life is hard. We're having a really hard moment right now. We're forgiving. We're forgiving for getting caught up in the emotions of the moment. And so I've been filled with an extraordinary joy, an unexpected love for the people around me. I'm enjoying the connection. And so, back to my topic today, prayer versus meditation, which says that prayer is for believers when they want to ask for something, basically, is the crux of the articles, and that you have to get steeped in belief and turn it all over. And meditation is going inside and that finding peace and guidance in that small, still, in that silent, still space inside of you. And as Debbie says, maybe they're the same thing. But what rarely happened in all the readings that I did to prepare, read a couple food blogs and a book. Anyway, what really hardly ever happens in any of this discussion was this connection, right? It was about asking, or it was about going in and quieting, finding your center. But hardly anywhere in these discussions were the joining, were the connection, were the realizations that once we learn to let go of the boundaries of ego, right? And Dr. Hawkins talks in his book about surrendering himself, surrendering his individuality to the bigger, greater cause, and that the greats of our time, or of our lives, of history, the ascended masters, the ones who have achieved these spectacular places in history, were the ones who were able to do that, right? Let go of themselves and feel the pain of all they were working for, and be one with above, below, and everything in between. I don't know. I'm talking about stuff that I don't have words to describe. I'm talking about stuff that has grown beyond my ability to describe it. And I'm all about words. Anyway, that's the show for today. That's what I wanted to talk about. I love it, the idea of, I'm not offering any resolutions here, right? Prayer versus meditation. Maybe they each have their own place. Maybe they're just different flavors of the same thing because we love to label things, so we like to talk about them in one way or the other. But in my opinion, in my humble opinion, IMHO, as they say, it's all about connection. It's all about letting go of our ego and our need to be seen and acknowledged and taken care of by those around us, and understanding that we are part of those around us, that everything that's going on is fluid, exchanges of energy of every minute. And that the more we let go of our need to make things right or to be heard or to be understood or to be acknowledged, and the more we can relax into the ecstasy of divine presence. Again, don't know how to say it. Don't know how to explain it. That's it. That's what I got for today. So one last real quick thought. Had a big day yesterday. I got grandkids staying with me this week. Did a volunteer event last night that kept us up late last night. Outdoor concert. So we were out in the fresh air all afternoon and evening, dancing, singing, exhausting. And I woke up this morning and I thought, oh, I just don't want to get up. And I heard this little still voice in my said, follow the process. Stick with the program. Do what you got to do. So here I am. I got up and I said, okay, I'm learning to listen. I'm learning to be tuned into that little voice. And I've been using the testing. Again, maybe, yeah, but you don't need to go back and watch the other shows. You know the testing. But one of the methods they talked about with this, right? You put your fingers together and then you pull this. And hi, I'm Tina Ann. Hi, I'm Mary Ann. Amazing. Been using the testing methods. I use Debbie sometime. Hold, stand still, and just feel. Do I lean forward or back? A yes is forward or back is no. And yet, I'm finding that I almost don't even have to ask the question anymore because I kind of know the answer. The intuition is there, and I'm leaning into it, and I'm listening to it. And I'm learning that it's not just my brain making shit up, right? I'm from Missouri. You have to show me. I just think I'm clever. I'm a good guesser, right? I always think that if I know stuff or I think I know stuff, either I'm just making it up because I'm creative, or of course I know it. It's obvious. Intuition. What are you talking about? It's just obvious, right? That's what intuition is, right? It's just that little gut feeling, and internally, that little feeling is saying to me, I am real and present and important in your life. Not just some random thought like the constant chatter that's going on here. Not just some random thought. God's speaking to me directly. I'm a little overwhelmed these days. Things are happening very fast. Anyway, hope you're staying with me. This is our show for today. Join me tomorrow morning where we have Freedom Friday, where I have decided on Fridays I will not wear makeup and I will not have a topic. I will just bring up some memes and just talk about fun things. Maybe. Freedom Friday means I get to do whatever I want on Friday. Anyway, that's our show for today. So until tomorrow, 7 a.m., Brewing Happiness. Make it a happy day.